If you're a fucking Nazi, even, like, what part of the plan is this? Like, when was Himmler like, now what we need to be upset about is that there is a little bit of a collectible game, and inside of this collectible game there's a part, and it's all boys. It's all boys. This is very important. The Jews are adding a girl, and this is more important than the economics we speak of. This is more important than the Rhineland. This is more important than Wagner and listening to the epic ring cycle 7,000 times until you lose your mind. What we need is focus on the little game. The little game with the little piece. If one of them has a booba, this is not a little boy piece, it is a little girl piece. And this is what the Jews are doing. Let's hop into our first thing. So I just want to start with this Swedish fella. I don't even know how to introduce him. The golden one is a guy on the internet. Most famous for his appearance, I guess, in like Bomber Guy videos. I don't know almost anything about the golden one. I have seen him pop up here and there when people like take shots at him, but basically he is like a bodybuilder who does like trad aesthetics. I think maybe he has to be at least a little fash, if not like directly saying it, just like cluelessly supporting those kind of things, because he's into like being a Viking. That dumb shit. And he's a weird dude. It like almost like a lol cow, but like just the perfect type of politics to naturally avoid localism while also having like aka AOK aesthetics. I'm gonna hit play on this, and we're gonna talk about it. He's saying, has the time come to say farewell to Games Workshop and Warhammer? So we're gonna check this out.
Time come to say farewell to Games Workshop. Now, perhaps you aren't familiar with Games Workshop. Perhaps you aren't familiar with the Horus Heresy, with Warhammer 40k. Even if you aren't, I would still encourage you to listen to my profound insight in this video, because as we are all appreciators of hermetic wisdom, we know that as above, so below. So you can use this example to analyze other similar happenings. So basically, I'm not going to go into all too much detail here, because we're going to get to the point relatively quickly. So anyway, Warhammer 40k, Warhammer Fantasy, even the old world, it's gone increasingly woke over the last few years. And now, why is this, you might ask? And you can see many examples of this.
My man's got, well, how do you have such a small neck if you're so fucking puffy up top?
So when they revamped the old world, which I was excited for to begin with, but then they started immediately the first new novel showing Bretonnian female knights, and we'll get into this in a minute as well with female representation, because it's absolutely not what it's about. But first things first, why is Games Workshop suddenly going woke, or suddenly over the last few years? Yes, one would think that it's to cater to left-wing extremists, and the left-wing
what is like Games Work? What is Games Workshop? Let me triple, quadruple, quintuple check this shit. Well, hobby store. Oh yeah. We have a Warhammer store here in Lexington. I actually drove past it the other day. On Man of War Place. British manufacturer of miniatures, based in Nottingham, England. Its best known products are Warhammer and Warhammer 40k. Founded in 1975 by John Peake, Ian Livingston, and Steve Jackson. Games Workshop was a manufacturer of wooden boards for games. It later became an importer of the U.S. role-playing game Dungeons & Dragons, and then a publisher of board games and role-playing games in its own right, expanding from Badroom and mail order company in the process. I don't know what's woke about him. Oh, hey, thank you, Super Chat. Rolsk for the, 10 sex. Thank you for the 10-6. As a Swede, I'm sorry for the English. God, he shames us. It's okay. The funniest thing about Swedish people are how many of them, when you actually talk to them, are like, I fucking hate all of... Every time I hear talk of the Vikings, I cringe inside. I do not want to be compared to the Viking. They are the filthy, best-ridden animal. They go across and they rob people. They are rapists. I don't understand why blonde people that are not a Swede would ever do this, be talking about. Fucking hell yeah, dude. So, let's see. These guys are kind of assholes, right? Games Workshop made changes to their IP guidelines in 2021. I remember this, adopting a zero tolerance stance towards fan-made games, videos, and animations, drawing criticisms from fans. So, like, yeah, they're just kind of pieces of shit. It's the center of the war games industry. And so, like, well, they decided to add girls, probably for sales reasons. I wouldn't even say that this is like a woke mob stuff. I'm not saying that these are like counterpoints to his things that he's saying. This is just like a standard capitalist company, like in the worst way of those traditions. Following games were in production as of 2021. So 2021, Warhammer Age of Sigmar. So that's just clearly a different operations thing happened in 2021. Created like a new movement, right? Which led to them having some chicks in Warhammer. So who gives a shit? The cool thing is I don't know if maybe that's in Britain, like you can't do it, but like you can fucking do whatever the fuck you want in America. Like you can't like sell it, but you can make fan stuff of anything because it's America. So like I don't know exactly what that changes, you know, if they're just like, oh, you can't blah 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 talk about it and stuff. But like in America, they don't give a fuck. Can't do shit. Yeah, they're a standard capitalist company from Sysfin on Twitch chat. Don't worry, you can get on the Twitch chat. They're a standard capitalist company. Nothing special or woke about it. There's nothing that seems particularly woke about any of this stuff. I mean, it's a fucking Wikipedia, but like, how about Games Workshop themselves? Like, they don't have any, like, normally a fucking, like, companies that are super woke and shit, because there are some companies that are, like, literally woke companies, and they do that as a forefront. But it's very much like, it's you turn the thing on, and then it's like rainbow capitalism right in your fucking face. The second the screen loads, it's like, hey, man, we fucking you. Hey, we say gay in this household. And that's straightforward as fuck about it, but... No, none of the stuff that I'm looking at makes them seem particularly woke, other than like...
Extremists, they probably flatter themselves by believing so themselves. But we can look at the major shareholders in Games Workshop, and then we see a certain company, BlackRock. Now, what does BlackRock
do? Oh, it's Jews!
Yes, they have...
Never mind.
A certain system in place which rewards companies for being essentially woke, to use that terminology. When I say woke, I mean... extreme leftist. You can use whichever term you want. So when I say leftist in this sense, I don't mean someone who's concerned with working class rights or anything like that. We're talking about degeneracy, basically. So there is a thing called ESG, and that basically means that it's easier for a company to get.
It's because the chairman and CEO of BlackRock is Lawrence D. Fink. I'm not gonna say Lawrence D. Fink. Also, we have Badr M. Al-Sad. Pamela Daly, that's an Irish. William Ford, Murray S. Gerber, Fabrizio Freda. Oh, dude, there are definitely some fucking weirdos in this one. Robert Capito, Margaret Peggy L. Johnson, Cheryl D. Mills, Amin H. Nasser, Kristen Peck, Gordon M. Nixon, Charles H. Robbins. I'm just looking at the BlackRock.com site. Marco Antonio Slim Dommett. Chairman of Grupo Financiero. God, dude, that guy. Can I show you? This guy right here has been on every... this is a telenovela bad guy. This dude. This is a telenovela bad guy. He's smiling here, but if he had a little grumpy face... this is the dude that comes in. He's like, Maria will be wed to me. Because he's like a mob. He's not a mob boss or anything, but he's like a mob consigliere in like the Spanish mafia or the Mexican mafia kind of thing. Like, right, he works for a cartel. He's a cartel, a pawn guy that's like one of the fronts of like of a major distribution thing. This dude is the guy that works for what do you call it? Remember fucking Breaking Bad? Madrigal. He works for Madrigal. Marco Antonio Slim Domit was arrested. Oh no, maybe he's actually Grupo Financiero. SABV. Maybe he's actually Italian, so he's just a normal mob. Mark Wilson, a white guy. The whitest of white people you've ever seen in your life. CEO of Ava PLC and former president and CEO of AIA. We only really have one, like, obviously Jewish dude, so maybe it's not a Jewish thing. Although the chairman and CEO of BlackRock is Larry Fink. It's Larry Fink. God bless him. Oh, man. That's just hilarious. This is a lizard person right here. That skin has been pulled tight over the false flesh of a demon. Caleb Pendleton, welcome to Goof. Welcome.
And of course, you have two ways to make money, or to gain money rather. So you have a loyal customer
I much
base,
prefer
or you
Twitch's
get
chat. It's
loans
pretty
from
good.
Various institutions, and if you have a high score of ESG, you will have an easier time getting these loans. And to get a good rating here, to be trusted with loans, you have to implement certain policies, certain woke policies. So there is actually a quite brutal example of this. Perhaps you even remember Bud Light. Now, I'm not a fan of beer at all, and I don't mind if a beer company goes bad for a beer company, because I don't think you should drink beer. It's highly estrogenic. So
it's just the environmental, social, and governance. ESG stands for environmental, social, and governance. This is often called sustainability. In a business context, sustainability is about the company's business model, i.e., how its products and services contribute to sustainable development. What is ESG? Nordea. Oh, I don't know why you're so upset about this, because this is some Swiss shit, you goofy fuck. This is y'all's fault. Danish, norsk, svenska, suomi. Do you speak any svenska? Below is an explanation of what it stands for. Social. Companies have a responsibility for their employees as well as their impact on societies in which they operate, for instance, in terms of working conditions, labor rights, and diversity. Governance. One way of ensuring this focus is increasing transparency and openness in contacts between the company and shareholders on issues such as board composition and shareholder rights. Governance can serve as a control mechanism in relation to bribery and corruption, tax, executive remuneration, shareholders' voting responsibilities, and internal control. So basically, ESG is having companies that have a modicum of accountability, at least in the sense that the accountability affects the bottom dollar for shareholders. So like, just it is ESG strikes me as a leopard's eating your face raft. You know what I mean? Like emergency button. Like, okay, we're going to do the most fucked up shit we can, but we cannot have any we're not going to give any more monies to companies that just start nuclear wars in the Southwest. You know? Like, we're going to generally avoid trying to give massive loans to companies that just actively perpetuate slave conflicts in certain regions, you know, and get caught doing it. It really just seems like a social credit score type thing for a whole company that would determine whether or not you get a loan, which is just, first off, a thing. I would, as an individual, prefer that there was something that was obviously there when you got your credit score, because credit scores for people mean nothing. But as far as that goes, ESG, is there a sense of sustainability, and is there a sense that your company, the governance part where it's like, you have to tell your shareholders that are minor shareholders what the fuck is going on in the company at all, so that they don't all get blown the fuck out when you do pump and dump schemes at the fucking top and do, like, you know, corporate takeover bullshit that destroys companies and like ruins the investment, because it's a short-term gain, long-term loss, and it makes people not want to fucking trust your investment firm anymore. That just seems like good business in a general sense, and nothing about it seems particularly woke. I mean, I guess it would open the door to wokeness to a degree, but also the social thing was suggesting that, like, you should be kind of in tune with the social dynamics of wherever you're starting a company, which is also just good business, but means that you'll be fucking kind of cool with doing North Korea shit in North Korea and kind of cool doing Russian shit in Russia. Is kind of the point of, like, you know, when in Rome is really what that rule sounds like. Not like, hey, make sure that you're doing drag queen story time in the kitchenette every day at noon, darling.
You can drink beer, of course, it can even be good for you, but for a man, drinking beer, not so good. But even so, it shows how, you know, a policy...
Tyler, please don't mix Finnish with the Scandinavian languages. It's completely different. When the fuck did I do that? How would I know? How would I know? I better... Is this like a Swedish joke for you guys up there? Hold on. Finnish being spoken. Jenny speaking Finnish. Wikitugs.
Hei, minun nimi on Jenni. Minä olen suomalainen. Mä oon asunut Amerikassa aika kauan aikaa. Ja mä oon huomannut nyt, kun mä oon asunut ulkomailla paljon, että miten erilaista ihmiset
Okay, so that's Finnish. Who the fuck knows what they were saying? Swedish speaking example.
Hej! Johanna heter jag och idag kommer jag att prata mitt modersmål som är svenska. Ja! Svenskan är ett nordgermanskt språk.
Okay, so the only difference is the Finnish people get straight to the point, which is probably why they fucking dominated the Russians in the Winter War, and Sweden had to stay like out. Swedish just sounds exactly like Finnish, but with like it's full of rubber bands. Like the Finnish is just like it actually sounded pretty much almost like American. Like that was her speaking, and then the Swedish is if I was y'all, I wouldn't wanted fucking smoke from the Germans either. Trying to call in artillery. I don't know where you want to be. Finnish, meanwhile, up there is like, and they're like, 700 fucking Russians just explode at once. I don't even know if I'm being offensive or what kind of offense that you're taking, but know this. You're all as fucking pale as me, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. Thank you.
Coming from one side, it is damaging to the brand, but they do it anyway because the politics, it's more important than making money. And this is also something everyone needs to understand, that for many individuals, myself included, by the way, money is not the most important thing. Your political mission is the most important thing, including the individuals who are behind this woke madness. They put their own political principles. They put
Tyler, your video playback is low.
Revenue. So I don't think Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, I don't think he really cares if...
Oh, damn. We did look it up. Look, I said there's a bunch of people that work for BlackRock. I said there's a bunch of people that work for BlackRock, or that are like the BlackRock CEOs. It's all sort of people, but probably he's most interested in the Jew. And fuck if he didn't mention it. After that whole stimlock, we came back and the first thing this dude does is mention the fucking Jew that's on the goddamn board. It's no one else but the Jew has to get... Can you find the Jew? Can you find the Jew? He did. Good.
I really don't think he cares if Warhammer goes into something, transforms into something completely unrecognizable. I really don't think he cares. I don't think any of these big investment firms care at all if a hobby such as Warhammer it goes bankrupt even. I don't think they care. They have a political agenda behind it. So that is something to keep in mind. And I can only say that for a businessman, a brand owner myself, I can only suppose it hurts a damn lot for these guys in Games Workshop to know that they have to butcher their brand to make female Custodes, female Space Marines to
I would have to get proof of this. Well, first off, like the Golden One's brand, you have to like look up and care who the Golden One is first, because like his own fame will precede his brand, which is based around it. Whereas we're talking about Games Workshop, which is like a $1 billion organization that's been around for what, like half a fucking century now at this point, and is like the custodians literally of one of the largest IPs in video game or in tabletop gaming, or many of the largest IPs. There is nothing about what we just looked up for like 10 seconds about this stuff that suggests it's a massive, like a politics first decision. Because I don't even understand what the politics first decision of it would be. It just seems like everything else, they're just trying to make additional money. It's kind of like the inverse of adding Ken to the Barbie doll franchise, where they're like, we want to make Barbie dolls. And then they're like, well, we need kind of a boy doll so that she can fucking like have a boy doll and not be gay. You know what I mean? Or whatever the fuck it is that decision was. And so they just added that, but it was like mostly a money thing because, you know, you can sell the other gender of doll now to the girl. I would need like excessive proof. Yeah, almost to the point of beyond the shadow of a doubt now. Because like I got JQ'd here. We JQ'd here in fucking under 4 minutes. So there's that. But also like I just don't understand. I literally don't understand what the political motivation of it is, because it suggests a penetration of Warhammer 40K into like the common person's mind that just does not exist. Like Warhammer 40K is a niche interest. It's a hobby for people on the internet. Like if we have 240 concurrent viewers in here, we are now like 0.1% of the entirety of the people that know about Warhammer 40K and give a fuck about it, like kind of on the internet in the English speaking language. I mean, that's probably a bit of an undersell, but like, even if it's what, 300, 400,000 maybe people actually even buying that shit, I would be stunned if it was something that was high. If it was 100 million, I would be thrown. 10, I'd be surprised. 1 million people, if there was 1 million people on Earth that loved Warhammer so much that seeing a female custodes in Warhammer could change their opinions on women, I would have to have proof of that. I don't think could even be provided. So I don't understand how you can even make the argument. Do you know what I mean? Also, I guess we can look at Games Workshop's stock. It probably took a dip the day a bunch of people made negative videos about it. The Warhammer guy I watched said the devs wanted to have female custodes from the start and were blocked by higher ups. I heard a different version, but of the same thing, that there was female custodes from the beginning, but just the printing technology they had was really shitty back in the day to make the miniatures. Like, one of the reasons all of the Warhammer stuff looks the way that it does is because they had to draw it big, because the original prints for the minifigs, like the printers, the injection molds and stuff, couldn't handle small, fine details. So you can't have somebody that has a gun that's the size of his hand. You know what I mean? If he's holding a gun, it has to be this gigantic block. Otherwise, it'll be ripped apart in the extraction process from the mold. And so, like, you have to have big, blocky, chunky fucking characters with that old injection technology. And so that dominated it. And then when they tried to make female characters, they just look like shit with the oversized characteristics, because like to make them look female at all, you would have to add stuff. And so like just leaving them the way that they looked was fine. Custodes are from 7th edition. They're not that old. ADB, one of the Black Library authors, said that when they're writing the lore for the Custodes, they asked if they could be women and were told, sure, but call it out. The models are all dudes. Fair enough. Games Workshop doesn't make money from commissioning books and video games. Their primary source of revenue is the minis, and they'll make whatever excuse they need to sell more of them. I mean, that just makes so much more. That just immediately makes sense. Like, unironically, if there was a market for like Nazi minifigs and they could get away with it, I think they would. Like, they would unironically probably try to push some sort of like Nat sock fucking thing. And I don't think the Jewish guy that's in charge would give a fuck if his fucking dividends like looked right. You know what I mean? Because they already push things that are pretty fucking fash. And there's a lot of negativity in there. So it's not like they're, you know, rewriting the lore or being like, hey man, this is the one like indisputably, this is an indisputably Christian model. You know what I mean? Like, this is a model that's like just 100%, if not like Christian because of obviously the standpoint, just like really just like trad values. This is a trad values custodes. I just don't. I think they would do it if they could get away with it and make money. I just don't think there's a fucking market for that, because people don't like that lame shit. Everybody likes fucking boobs, man. I ain't gay. I like tits. I like the other stuff as well. But like, you know, I don't see where the argument is, and it's never really been provided.
Transform their entire lore to accommodate for these big investment bankers. I can only suppose it hurts.
Jews.
Because
just say
they
Jews.
have to do it. They have to play ball. They're being forced. They're being bullied by bigger bullies in the playground to do certain things. And then they can, of course, comfort themselves with saying, oh, we do it for these individuals who want more inclusivity. But it's absolutely not what it's about. And as I said in the beginning of this video, we'll get to it, this thing with female representation. So Bretonia, based on the Arthurian legend.
Somebody said that tree art in the bunny cam is awesome. Thank you. That is Gustav Klimt's Tree of Life. In poster form, and I'm gonna hang that up somewhere eventually. I've had that for years, but the shitty Walmart frame I bought for it is disintegrating, so it can't be hanged up anywhere.
And medieval France, they already do have females, so they have enchantresses and sorceresses and stuff like that. So they are already a natural, normal place for women in that particular faction. We also have then in Warhammer 40k, so this is also the same universe as the Horus Heresy, which I've recommended. So you have the
He has
Sisters
made
of
literal
Silence, for
JQ
example.
videos.
You have
Oh, okay.
Adeptas
Well, there you go.
Sororitas. So you have two female factions there fighting for the Imperium. So it's not about being inclusive to women. There are already plenty of women to be found in both fantasy and 40k. But it's about them destroying things for us. And I saw on Twitter yesterday something that illustrates left-wing mentality in the best possible way. And this goes for anything, really.
Also, and this is the other thing, because I know we're going to talk about, like, Jews and shit, whatever the fuck. But, like, how does it ruin anything? Like, I need that explained, okay? I don't know that much about Warhammer 40k, but, like, how does it literally ruin anything? Like, I want that fucking explained to me. Because, first off, yeah, I know this is a fact from everything I know about tabletop games, is that all you fucking tabletop game losers, you dork fucking dipshits, I'm being mean, none of you ever agree that any edition of anything is good, and because of the existence of a concept called history and the progression of time, you can still access old manuals and pretend like the new ones don't exist. Because if there's anything I know about, like, Dungeons and Dragons, it's that everybody hates edition 5e, and that edition 5e is literally perfect and should never have been changed for any reason. And then that also the best edition of Dungeons and Dragons is actually Pathfinder 3. That's what I know. And I know that any rule set can be changed, can be modified. The existence of female custodes does not destroy your minifig collection of male custodes. I would think that, if anything, I would feel like there's maybe some, like, guy who's a collector and hates collecting stuff, but it's just such a compulsion for him that he's like, I have to have a full set of everything, and now that they're going to do females, I'll have to get that as well. And he's just frustrated that he has to have, like, a different organizational method to put the female custodes up there because he had another one already. But other than that, what does it change? I want that argument. Literally pop in and tell me. Like, I will have this argument with you. I don't know anything about Warhammer other than, like, the years worth of lore that I've read from it. You know what I mean? But, like, you would have to actively prove to me in a way that doesn't sound like cuck shit, which is what this guy... This is a dude that works out real hard to watch somebody else fucking rail this shit out of his wife, is the vibe I'm getting here. Like, what is changed? Like, why are you crying about it? What is different? You know, because it's not even like a video game. If it was online, like a video game that was only ever released digitally, and, like, they changed your copy and that permanently changed it, okay, but, like, minifigs are in your mind, it's imaginary, and you already have the minifigs you own, and you can just ignore the fact that there's females, because you already have to ignore the fact that there's fucking factions and shit you don't have the minifigs for in the first place, right? Because, like, whatever, like you want to do a campaign, but you're too poor, or, like, don't have the time to buy Eldar. So when you guys run your little campaign, you pretend that some fucking chess pieces are the Eldar pieces that you neither want to purchase nor paint. Is that not a thing that happens? Am I crazy? So you already do that. If you don't want to have them, just ignore them. Put a quarter on the table, whatever the fuck. It's a figure in a game, so, like, you can just stick anything there. You could buy a Barbie head and put it on a stick and say, no Gubbins, no Lady Gubbins. Lady Gubbins, no Orky, and then fucking move that around, right? I don't know. You gotta tell, what is fucking ruined? Do you not understand the word ruined? It's not even in yours. It's like finding out, like, every day I go to the store and I buy Rice Krispies, and now I found out that they make Rice Krispies with marshmallows in it, and someone else is eating the Rice Krispie marshmallows. I'm still eating mine. But the very thought of marshmallows and Rice Krispies has gotten my fucking pussy fucking aflame with rage. Like, I don't fucking get it. It's literal hysterics by dudes. So it's cool that, like, you guys are degenderizing. You're, like, taking the gendered nature of the term hysterics apart, because clearly there's some sort of, like, butthole irritant that is giving you the same sort of just insane sexual based delusions and hysterics that were, like, afflicting women back in the day, according to these guys, but it's male only. It's the boys. Why are you so hysterical? What do you have some sort of strange polyp? Is the temperature of your butthole like the wrong fucking? It's a little off. The pH inside of your inside of your urethra has altered itself, and so some vein that goes up to your brain is now feeding it like false information. What is wrong with you? What is happening here? What the fuck is going on? I don't know what the fuck the problem is, other than like little kid spurg out, like literal fucking like I found out today that they're not gonna sell, you know, that like not even that they're not gonna sell they're not gonna sell like fucking tendies that are in the shapes of dinosaurs. It's just that like they're adding a new type of tendy that's just not a dinosaur shape. It's like a bird. And you can just not get them in your meal, but like the possibility that you could is sending you into fucking like conniption fits, and you're sprinting around the parking lot, pants pissed, shit going down your leg into your shoes, screaming at the top of your lungs about the tendies. Like, what in the fuck am I supposed to take seriously about this? Like, why? What in the fuck? Why do you think you're a real human being when you have conversations like this? Like, there's so many things that are happening in the world. Even if you're trying to be like a neo-Hitler or whatever, like this guy I guess is, like, don't you think like there's like Goebbels would want you to fucking use your time better? You know, like you're not even being a good Nazi at this point. Like, what in the fuck is the point? I don't even feel like you're an enemy to anything. I just feel like you're just a non-serious person that's just engaging in pants shitting behavior. You know, like if you're a fucking Nazi, even like what part of the plan is this? Like, when was Himmler like? Now what we need to be upset about is that there is a little bit of a collectible game, and inside of this collectible game there's a part, and it's all boys. It's all boys. This is very important. It's all boys inside this one part of the game. The Jews are adding a girl, and this is more important than the economics we speak of. This is more important than the Rhineland. This is more important than Wagner and listening to the Epic Ring Cycle 7,000 times until you lose your mind. What we need is focus on the little game with the little piece. If one of them has a booba, this is not a little girl piece anymore. This is not a little boy piece. It is a little girl piece, and this is what the Jews are doing. Hitler up there, all them fucking dipshit Germans up there, and then what they did was they put a girl in the custodes. What are we supposed to say? This is what the international is doing to us. We must go. We must strike at Poland. We must strike at the heart of France. We must ride the degeneracy from our borders. They have put the booba in my girl game. The booba girl is in my boy game. What the fuck are we doing? Can I get a serious fucking natsock over here? Because like I would feel bad war criming you now. Like you're pissing your pants. Like, because that's all I think. Every time I think about the Nazis, I just think about fucking what is that called? Easy Company, you know, on HBO. And then there's the Lieutenant Price, and he gives them all a cigarette, and he just fucking guns down the fucking Nazi POWs, which is just the coolest shit in the world. Just wipes them off the face of the planet. I couldn't imagine. You would ruin my day when I eventually got to do something like that to you by crying about minifigs. It would take it away from me, because like, why are you crying about little game pieces? Just die. Die like a fucking man. Why is this what's coming out of your fucking mouth? What in the shit? Like you're just bombing fucking Axis positions in the storming of Normandy, blowing these dudes down, watching them fucking crawl, clearing their guts out. Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Look at this fucking disemboweled Nazi. What a wonderful day. And then you like see one of them just like crying, holding like a little fucking plastic figurine of a space Nazi to his chest and going, not the girls in my custodes. Oh, Deutschland. And dying like, what the fuck is this? You taking the fun out of it. Come on. Play your part right or something. Because if this is the best that you've got, like, what in the fuck, man? I can't even take you seriously on your own terms. What in the fuck is this shit? Come on, be a real fucking goddamn natsock, you piece of shit. Is this the most clever thing you can do? Is this like the sneakiest? This is like the cuttlefish. You guys are like the cuttlefish. where you once upon a time cuttlefish was men's back in like the 1930s or whatever, and would go try to fuck the lady cuttlefish. You're the modern cuttlefish that sneaks around pretending to be a lady cuttlefish to fuck. Are you the fucking cuck cuttlefish of fucking Nazism? What the fuck is this shit, dude? I can't even. Why did you work out this hard to film this video? When you were fucking shooting Tren and never working on your neck so that you've got the goddamn pencilist of the pencil necks, and just up to your fucking eyeballs. Dude, don't even try to tell me it's not, because nobody's shoulders are that shape. I know what Natty is, because I am fucking, and you're pumping iron, dude. You're just jacking it, taking them fucking ass shots, and fucking doing squats, and you're just, oh, I'm doing it for you, baby Hitler, I'm doing it for you. And then you'd sit down and you have to make a fucking whole thing about like, they're ruining our game. They put the girls in the custodes in the little fucking plastic minifigure game, like. Dude, is this just the mental version of like when like you know the tragedy of like being like put into like a like the Trail of Tears, you know, and you're like, damn, they're kicking out of our whole country and shit. And, like, that's really bad that happened to Native Americans. They're like, dude, there's not a lot left of us. We don't have a lot left. But like, this is the mental version of a dipshit ideology. And so you're just left on the reservations that we've left for you, because no one gives a fuck about Nazi economics or Nazi anything now. It's just like, can we get a fucking Nazi opinion on minifigs? This is your last reservation. People like you used to give big fiery speeches in cities that people would listen to, and like people would dress up to look like you and shit, and now you're just trying to like, hey man, can I interest any of you pencil-dicked unfuckable people who literally talk about how you can't get laid? Can I interest any of you in a revolution? Just handing out pamphlets to dudes who will literally leave your cause the second they get a crumb of pussy. Oh my god. They complain about female custodes, but they want to fill the degeneracy museum with them and gave up on them. They definitely want them. There's going to be so much fucking female. I guarantee you get on the AI right now and it's female custodes porn. No, they probably can't do it. It's probably they can't equivocate it, because it's like, how do I make a female custodes but it's also a child? It's like too much for the fucking Nazi mind to comprehend. Golden Ball is a grifter. He's so fucking lame. Warhammer 40k is always supposed to be a satire of fascism, like Helldivers and Starship Troopers. I am making that video. Satire is not an excuse for bad. Yeah, never mind. We won't get into it. Yeah, there's literally no reason. It matters. They can't even use the gene seed argument. Also, I think they added male banshees to the lore. It's literally just people are being upset. Male banshees just makes a little bit more sense, because it's like they're just supposed to be chicks. But who gives a fuck? Have you seen the Golden One's video where he goes, oh, I am not an anti-Semite, I just hate the international Jewish conspiracy? What the fuck?
We're only talking about Warhammer now, but you can use this as an example for everything, really. So let's have a look. And this person says, it brings me so much joy to know that you feel like all your favorite hobbies are being stripped away from you. You will never get what you think you had back, and that is hilarious.
Dude, like, aren't you supposed to be look at this sad thing. Aren't you supposed to be talking about masculinity? You know how much of you think I'm not gonna let anybody take shit from me? I don't let them take anything. It's mine. I don't let people take whole fucking words from me at times. I just bring them back, dude. Like the L you're taking is insane. Like, oh, we have been dealt the final blow. God, fucking right across my chin. The final blow. They took my hobby. Bro, have you ever been robbed that hard? When was the last time you in your life, if you're just out there, when was the last time in your life you have ever been robbed by somebody adding a product that you didn't even have to buy? That is such a convoluted and, strictly speaking, capitalist first fucking issue.
So this illustrates with perfect clarity the left-wing mindset. And now we're talking about something quite innocent as, you know, a hobby.
It's not even articulating a mindset. Just that I gotta keep positive. It's not even articulating a mindset. There's no mindset that's been articulated. It's somebody else's issue. What the fuck are you talking about?
About games, we're talking about books, but use this as an example to something bigger, something deeper, and you have a true danger on your hands. So this is scary stuff. Believe me, you can look at the Bolshevik Revolution if you want further examples of this mentality coming into play. Then you have total chaos and carnage. Truly.
The Bolshevik Revolution! I wish! I fucking wish! Just Tsar fucking, what is it? Tsar Nicholas, right? Tsar Nicholas II, just sprinting home through the streets of Moscow, St. Petersburg, whatever. Click, 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 click. Get the children! What's wrong? Get Russian accent. Get the children! Get the children! They have started selling female custodes. The Bolsheviks will be here any second. Anastasia, fucking Princess Anastasia just was like running to her carriage, and some kid is just like from the gates, some pauper is just holds up a figure of a female custodes and her head explodes. No! I tell you what, to round that one out though, the fire part of that is definitely you would see Rasputin fucking Rasputin trying to 40k himself out of getting killed. He's just like, I'm going to play Eldar. Oh my god. I think we need to get Taylor to a historical wargaming arc, maybe.
Horrifying stuff. So this is the side who...
Hey, Chariot's here. What's up, Chariot?
The wokeness of Warhammer. And meanwhile, us...
I remember when Lenin told the Tsar that Spider-Man was a black woman now. Truly the West has fallen. Do you remember that time in the Warsaw ghettos when they took all of the female Warhammer figures from the imprisoned political dissidents and the Jews that were there and then burned them in a pile? Fucking Christ. Oh my god, bro.
Fans, been fans for over 20 years. We're of course quite sad seeing this happen. So then you might ask, Great Lion, what do I intend to... What is my course of action? Because I have, of course...
Who the fuck has called you that? Does your wife... Can you even... I know he's, like, married with a kid. Does your wife even call you that? And when she does, is it, like a favor? Or does she call you Great Lion? Because that is... Literal, like, fucking... You have to conquer Macedonia. You know what I mean? For people to start calling you, like, the Great Lion. Like, you have a YouTube channel and you do steroids, my man. Me too. You know? I should... You guys, if you think I'm talking shit, I should just do. I'm never gonna do Trent because I don't want my fucking lungs to disintegrate any more than they already have. But like, I would do a therapeutic steroid cycle just to show you guys. Like when I say I know this dude's too poofy up top, and he's got a little bit of a bubbly. I'm not saying he's always on him, but my man has definitely cycled up. Definitely, he's too puffy. I wonder if he's got that fucking back knee. Maybe not. If he is natty, if this dude is natty, he is one of the largest natty people I think I've ever seen in my life. Like literally one of the biggest natty weightlifters I've ever seen on Earth.
I have recommended the Horus Heresy. I will finish reading.
That's what the Soviets did when they liberated the concentration camps. They gave every prisoner a rainbow flag and a female custodes minifigure set.
Fed by all of this wokeness. And besides the quality of the books, it has deteriorated. I'm very sad to say that. And anyway, if you want to know more about the Horus Heresy, check out my video I made on the series. I also have
he said this like 2 times now. This Horus Heresy reading list. 11,200 views. Whatever this gibberish is. Swiss, I guess.
When it comes to the game itself, I played a lot of Warhammer Fantasy back in the day. I haven't played Age of Sigmar. I actually haven't played Warhammer 40k. I have painted some models. So I play Warhammer Underworlds, and I will of course continue to do so, but I will see if I continue to sponsor Games Workshop with my money. I will probably not do so. So yeah, anyway, it's a bit of a tragedy. I'm sure
I'll tell you what you will. If you're a fucking Warhammer person, you will. Because when Warhammer, they don't give a fuck. They're animals. Fucking Warhammer fucking as a company, as a capitalist organization, they got you juiced and they're in your fucking brain. Even all you lefty Warhammer fucks, if they came out like tomorrow and they're like, this is fucking the literal fucking Adolf Hitler chaos space marines, you would go, or I don't know, space marines probably. You would go like, all right, that's some bullshit, and I'm not gonna buy any of it, but I will still keep playing fucking like Warhammer 40. You're buying a product, you know what I mean? No, boycotts just don't work like that. Every once in a while, you actually will see somebody who did like a 20-year boycott and died never doing something, and that's kind of cool. You know what a psychotic boycott is? Here's one, and it was like my grandpa on my fucking mom's side was so pissed about World War II, which he fought in, and so mad at the Japanese, he refused to eat noodles or rice until he died. And that was like 60 years later. My man said no rice. He ignored an entire staple food group because he was that pissed. That was like his one thing. He like, I'm not doing it. That's fucking psychotic, man. That's a true boycott. It accomplished nothing, but like you have to respect the man's fucking resolve. I don't give a shit about it. Like we should maybe boycott. We should maybe do this stuff because not enough of them have ever worked for me to give a fuck when you say like I'm going to boycott something or I'm going to stop doing it. It's just never happened. So who gives a fuck if that's your opinion? I just don't. I like you have to live. You have to show at least as much. It has to be before we die. I look and I'm like, damn, you got like 2 years left and you haven't fucking broke yet? All right, I guess I can give it to you, but I will be watching. And if after I'm dead you fucking fail, I'll know. You know, like, if you don't have that energy on your deathbed where you're just like fucking Thomas Jefferson still lives. Fucking, my only regret, isn't that what it was? Aaron Burr was just like, my only regret is Thomas Jefferson still lives. Like it was one of them. If you don't have that kind of energy, I don't give a fuck about your boycott because I've read books, you know what I mean? Non-fictional accounts of people that held true grudges, you know, 100 years cold, fucking pissed about something. You have to be at that level. This weak shit is nothing. Also, did he eat spaghetti? No. He did not eat noodles and he did not eat rice. They weren't in the house. Fucking right? Plenty of other foods to eat though, but like, goddamn.
In Games Workshop, they only want to, develop good games, write good books, have a good fan base, have fun together because it's a great hobby. I mean, I've been in it for 20 years or something, on and off, and it has brought me a lot of joy. So it pains me to see that this fine company is being treated in this way and being forced probably against their will. Now, of course, I haven't talked to anyone in the leadership of Games Workshop, so I don't know. Perhaps they also agree with this, but I doubt that most of the truly passionate workers and fans and the management in Games Workshop, I don't think they appreciate what is going on. So anyway, that all being said, I will probably say farewell to the great world of Warhammer 40k and Horus Heresy as soon as the Siege of Terra concludes. But yeah, I can say Horus Rising, that book is still a masterpiece, will always be so, and even if I say farewell to Games Workshop now, I will still, the company and Warhammer 40k, Warhammer Old World, Horus Heresy.
I haven't read any of the like major Warhammer 40k books. Is Horus Heresy actually like a masterpiece? And here's, if you answer like whether or not the Horus Heresy is a good book, I also want you to just say another book that you've read that is in like a Western canon curriculum. Like have you made it past like Shakespeare? Like could you just do like basic Shakespeare because I read it might have even been Karen Travis. I got to look it up, but I read a one between 1 and 3. I can't remember exactly how many Space Marines books. I feel like I read a couple, but I think I also might have read a compendium that was in a single book with multiple stories in it. It was while I was in Iraq. That's the fuzzy time because that's when I got hit in my fucking head. No, everyone's saying no. Is the Horus Heresy a masterpiece? No, Tyler. Megamind is a masterpiece. Jesus Christ. But yeah, like that was good. It was a good trash novel, but it also didn't go into any deeper concepts than like running around and fighting orcs on a planet that was trying to eat them. And so like I was cool with that. I was cool. You know, it's like a pulp sci-fi novel. So like this dude's like Horus Heresy is based. I can't. He just doesn't strike me as a reader. What with the being a Nazi and all, like not really a well-read crowd, not really literature heavy. You know what I mean? I guess we can kind of fucking wrap it up. Do you have anything else to say?
Will always have a place inside my heart, no matter what happens now. And yeah, the good memories, the motivation, the gym motivation, everything like that. It will always be with me. So thank you for all of these years of joy and inspiration to Games Workshop. And I say that in the most sincere way possible. And lastly, since we are on the topic, funnily enough, one of the most commonly asked questions I get, without exaggerating, it's actually what my favorite Primarch is and what my favorite chapter is. So I'd say Sanguinius and the Blood Angels. So, all that being said, I wish you a Hythumos day ahead. XXO. Boom.
Good fucking vascularity, though. I gotta give him that. I gotta give him that vascularity, though. You know what I mean? This shit's fucking hilarious and sad. Either way, shit was fucking hilarious. Shout out Golden One. Golden One forever. All that good stuff. I can't. Let's see. People with Arch Warhammer. Let's try it. 10 seconds. We'll give you 10 seconds of Arch Warhammer. Arch Warhammer girls is what we'll do, is the search.
There have always been female custodies. This sentence has set the internet alight and joined now rather infamous ranks such as there is no war in Ba Sing Se, or we have always been at war with East Asia. Not necessarily because of what these words say. In the case of the female
Tyler's doing the
custodies
2000s
for example,
Hollywood
the news
Norwegian
of female
accent.
custodies dropped before this, as it was revealed to be part of the new 10th edition Adeptus Custodes Codex. And the reply was actually to a question. Why did you do this? And that is what we're going to explain today.
Vosh debated
Because
Arch and made fun of his stupid accent. That's fucking awesome. I won't be able to help myself, especially if it's somebody that's not being like hyper serious or something. I won't be able to fucking help
There have
myself.
always been female custodies is not so terrifying because of what it says, but because of what it means. This is no simple little lore change or adjustment. This is something far more sinister. Something worth actively and obviously gaslighting fans over. The erasure of established lore history from both official and fan spaces.
Of history.
And its replacement.
By the way,
by
I can almost get the erasure of history. So I can history, the erasure of history. I learned how to trill my R's just so I can make fun of Arch Warhammer. There's a girl, I like, and other men coming here on the weekend. It's really awesome how every girl I like cucks me.
Exclusivity and blandness of current year entertainment, where everything is made to be for everyone, all flavor
I know, I'm almost there. I'm working on it, guys.
is eradicated.
It is to the point where my wife will occasionally look at me and be like, can we be done with that practice now? Because I will shut up. People were talking about me doing the what if all this thing. Like, I don't think it's okay that Tyler keeps saying stuff about spectrum disorders. And then, like, if you go to one of my other if you just when that person typed that, just cut to me sitting in the dark watching fucking Hellriders or Helldivers load, and it's just me going. Just going over again and again and again. He's not British. What is Norway? Is he really Norwegian? What the fuck?
And everyone, no matter who they are forced to repeat the same lie as a sign of their obedience.
Their obedience.
All of this is happening not because of something native to
he's
obedience.
Dude. You can't spell comes without grums. Bro, just citing a Grums tweet is just crazy because it's like, if you get into it, you're talking about this guy's a game developer who has all kinds of ideas about games. I have no idea what the fuck he does now, but it's not make games that anyone gives a shit about. So it's like, why would you care what Grums has to say? Like, isn't it weird for him to try to be talking past people that are actually making fucking video games? Like, isn't that psychotic? Like, Grums, like, what do you have to say about anything? Like, you made one game and it was a massive failure, and that was when I was like in high school. I was like 17, and I'm in my late 30s now. I'm getting ready to start trying to make a game, and I still might fucking get into development. Like, I'm deeper into pre-development on a fucking a gay dating game. Actually, it's not gay, it's a pan dating game. based on shitty 90s comics. I'm deeper into the production cycle for that and will probably finish before anyone gives you a fucking penny to make another video game. Like, why the fuck do people listen to Grumps? His name rhymes with Cums, all right? Just make fun of him, all right? It was just waiting for it. What the fuck? I need people to start being mean again, okay? On that side. Start being mean to each other. You need to bring back bullying because whatever is happening right now that is letting him feel confident about like being out in the open talking to people is fucking up your side of things. So just start bullying each other.
All of this is happening not because of something native to 40k. It is an outside force, and an extraordinarily malicious one at that.
Extraordinary malicious one at that. And then I'm looking at just a comic with a girl. What the fuck is this?
Many are now only slowly beginning to notice. That is why this little comic image series I've been playing in the background is so perfect. By the artist Mick, by the way, over on Twitter. I'll put his handle up on screen in case you want to check him out. As so many now are having that moment of, what the hell is that? That obviously does not belong here. And then being told by GW, the institution itself, that no, you are mistaken. There have always been female custodies. And the
it's custodes. Custodes from the Roman custodes. Fucking guardians of the goddamn emperor.
Fusion of that statement is then swiftly replaced
with... The custodes did something else. Or did they? Because the praetors... The praetors? The Praetorian Guard was the Emperor's Guard, right? Praetorian Guard. And the custodes did something else. Do they have a Frumentari? That's what I want to know. Is there a Frumentari cast? There has to be, right? Little corn spies.
Horror, as one looks closer.
He's terrified of the
realizes
custodes.
There are only two options with this monster. Resist or die.
Yeah, based.
I went into more detail about precisely what the monster is in my Everything is Political video the other day. But to put it briefly, it is a political ideology designed from the very ground up to quietly...
It is a political ideology. It sounds like... It looks like Slanesh is making hot custodes. Is that what it is? Is this a Slanesh reference? Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah, dude. I want that. I want to have that dream. There's a new female coworker here. Oh, we didn't have any female coworkers. Well, we do now, and she's a literal sex demon. Okay. Isn't this the world you wanted? The monkey paw not curl its fingers.
They infiltrate anything and everything, and begin to devour it from the inside out. A modus operandi worthy of chaos. But sadly, this ideology is all too real.
Dude, you can't show me this and expect me to think anything is fucking... These are fuck me eyes, and she's got a third one. This is probably like a good 50% of your entire fan base's fucking mommy obsession right now. This is fuck me eyes coming from a tall, armored woman that's towering over. This is it, dude. This is what part of this is bad? This is the future liberals want. Like, sign me the fuck up, darling. You mean to tell me a sex demon from the wolf has decided to pretend to be one of the Emperor's female guardians? Well, how do I get on that shift? Seriously, what part of this? What is it? What part of this is sinister and unsettling? Unless you're fucking a closeted homosexual, and you're worried she's gonna find out that you're fucking your old fucking tallywhacker doesn't really fucking do it when she pulls out a booba. Like other than that, I don't understand what's off-putting. Or unless you're scared, I'm a married man. You know what I mean? I'm saving myself for Jesus. Dude, even if she's gonna kill you, as far as Warhammer 40k goes, this is a win. All right, a win is a win. It could be fucking it could be Nurgle. It could be a Nurgle imposter, whatever the fuck that would even be. That would have been a funnier joke. I still don't even know if this is supposed to be Slanesh, but I fucking like that it is. I'm just gonna pretend it is. What the fuck are you talking about? This dude's showing hot women and asks me, "Don't you hate this? Doesn't it make your blood boil? I'm like right there. Your blood boil? Turns me Romanian.
Talk about the monster today, since I have already done so. Instead, we're going to talk about why GW decided to put out the response there have always been female custodies. A statement they obviously know to be false. GW, after all, literally...
Third eye in blue actually implies zinch. I can't say that word. Zinch is the loot. Lame. That's actually the deepest one. Zinch is the techno, right? The new one. Zinch is the, like, I get by on lies and subterfuge. Meh. Zinch is the lamest. If Slanesh found out that Zinch was like pretending to be girls to sneak into the Custodes, Slanesh would be like, I was already there like 5 minutes ago. When I was a girl, I was a guy, I was everything. Slanesh wouldn't be fucking Matt Berry. Oh, you pretended to be a girl in the Custodes. Well, I pretended to be everything, baby. Darling. I snuck in, but I'll tell you right now, I did not sneak out. I was escorted on top of a parade float. The god of nerds. There have always been female custodes. I think it's true.
Wrote the law book that clearly and repeatedly stated there are only male custodians. GW is the company that for 30 years never once mentioned a single female custodes, or even alluded to the existence of one. So why choose to lie? Why elect to...
I know that. Zinch is so hyper ADHD that he doesn't fully know his elaborate plans. That is so true. By the way, this would still just become canon. That's the best part about Warhammer 40k that I know from the outside, is that kind of just anything can become canon at any point. Even if it becomes ahistorically, retroactively canon, it's still accurate because of just the way that everything works. Like, what happened? Okay, Zinch had an idea, and he doesn't know what it is, but it was sneak in as a girl. He just done a bunch of fucking snoo. just Zinch having like a 3-second like conversation with Slanesh, like in her fucking whimsical pansexual snake lair, and like she's just like, I don't even think you could do it. And he's like, I bet you I could. And then so Zinch is like 10 months into just like being fucking plowed inside out as like a number of female custodes. Confused. Just gets to a point where they look back and they're like, all right, well, now we have a lot of female custodes. There's female custodes. I have used the warp to make it so that there are always female custodes, and I am one. And I am in an ongoing and torrid relationship with like 30 space marines right now, all of whom call me mommy. I don't know what I've accomplished, but good job me. I'm going home. Like, is that not canon? Is that everything I know about Warhammer 40k, which is limited? I believe that technically would be canon. You know what else would be canon? Just one fucking orc, like war boss, going, I had a dream last night that there was a girl. Alright, and Zinch looked at her and he said, turn me into a girl. Turn me into girl custodes, and they became girl custodes because they're supposed to be dangerous, and it would destroy the custodes. But then they had girl custodes, and now we want to do war with them. We got to do war with them. I think it happened. I had a dream, but maybe I did it for real. I fought them, and they're there, and it was a Zinch who did it. And then all the other orkies like, oh, orky. Get in the red spaceship. It's a giant tree that they knocked down that's been painted red with the blood of whatever the fuck was on that planet. It flies. They hop in a giant tree they knocked over, painted red, pretend it's a spaceship. It flies through the warp, and now they're fighting fucking female custodes. Like, congratulations, bro. This is why Warhammer's good. It's not because it's, like, always there. It's just because I feel like the Games Workshop setup from back in the day just makes it so, like, if you have an idea, like, it's good. It's golden. Like, go for it, man. I don't know. Why do we have female custodes? Nurgle released a virus, right? That's an ultra gene virus. He did it for everybody because Nurgle thought the male custodes were lonely, and because he was like turning a bunch of them into Nurgleites or whatever, disease monsters on his planet in the warp. And like he found out that they didn't have female versions to replicate with, and went, that's pretty lonely. So he created a virus that was so potent it went back in time and altered the genetics of half of all of the custodes ever to actually have been female from the beginning. It was such a bad virus, it transmitted itself through time. But it's possible because it's fucking Nurgle. And he was like, good on you. I did that for you, buddy. Then you can all say, oh, it was horrible and it was bad. It was a bad thing that happened. But Nurgle's like, guess it's kind of all in the eye of the beholder, right? He transmitted the virus. Shut the fuck up. Well, if you want to go with everything can be retconned, all right, so nothing matters, it carries on. Yes. Yes. Duh, dummy. Yeah. Yes. It's a tabletop RPG. All of the fucking lore that exists is, first off, mostly fun because all of the best lore things are fun because of how fucking stupid they are. Like, dude, and I've never heard long conversations from anybody that was interesting about how, like, oh man, I just really want to talk about my favorite 2 fucking factions of the space. I just love this one faction. You know, like some dork that's just like, oh, this is the one type of Space Marine faction that's like kind of like gruff, but they would pet puppies if they could. Like, what a loser. What kind of Boy Scout shit are you doing in Warhammer 40k? I just want to talk about the most outrageous, insane, egregious shit, bro. Like, fuck, get me all the way to endgame. I want to talk about fucking Khorne getting stronger at fighting because he failed killing Nurgle, so Nurgle infected him with a super disease on his for himself so that it would make like Khorne extra powerful, and then Khorne started like popping off gigantic Khorne zits that turned into Khorne blob demons that fought Khorne more. Like, that shit is just, that's what I want. That's the good shit. That's like, oh, Warhammer 40k. I feel like Warhammer. Like, who's trying to do street level, like, dark and gritty Warhammer, bro? In the fucking grimdark future, everything is trans. Get fucking dunked on. There's probably a million contradictions or plot holes in the 40k lore. It makes sense that the lore is not set in stone. No. Because it was just a bunch of dudes in their bedroom. Literally, we just read the thing saying, like, we should make a game, and it'll be this grimdark shit. There's Warhammer, and now it's Warhammer 40k. This plus 40,000 years of this. And then they got to just the goofiest shit, but that's why it's so much fucking fun. And none of it, literally the least important aspect of any of it has ever just been, like, if one minor faction, who even gives a fuck about it, like, has girls. Like, who gives a fuck the custodes? I don't give a shit, alright? Like, does it matter? Like, oh shit, yeah, she got, this female space marine got exploded, and they put her fucking, like, brain inside of a gigantic walking coffin robot that shoots rockets and can fly. Like, who gives a fuck? Like, oh shit, I'm sorry though, her female disposition is gonna keep her from reaping the souls of the non-believers. Like, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? The single greatest 40k story is that of Tuska Demon Killer. Do I remember this one? Is Tuska the one where he accidentally gained the ability to travel in time and created a paradox because he realized he could go back in time and kill himself, and he goes back because he wants a second copy of his own gun. He creates like a gigantic gigantic time paradox? Or is he the orc that Khorne can't manage to kill because he just wants to fight so much that like Khorne can't put him down, and Khorne's just like splits himself or something and creates a permanent like parademon version of himself for the guy to fight eternally because Khorne's got to, like, you know, collate files and do some like god shit. I can't ever remember. Every fucking orc thing is just immediately like tremendously based. Dude, I would be fucking, I would absolutely just like, fuck yeah. The human shit is always just so needlessly boring and edgy. it's always just like, this is a spy, but it's not just a spy. He's a spy that's been fucking cock and ball tortured from like the age of 0 and was injected with 1,000 chemicals and can shoot a gun super far. And it's all just fucking Shadow the Hedgehog, original fucking character, Donut Steel bullshit. And like, that's okay if all of it's like that, because it's funny as fuck. The reason that it's good is because then you introduce characters like Nurgle, who's like, yeah, I'm the god of disease, but I'm always hooking the dudes up. You know what I mean? Slanesh is just like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to smash on everything. Like, just like literally the god of fucking. Korn is just like, everything you can do, I can do better. Zeech is a fucking nerd. The Necrons are just like, yeah, I mean, I guess eventually every game has to end, so robot skeletons, fuck, who gives a shit? I don't know. Fucking Eldar are there because you need another race to play as. And then the orcs are there, and the orcs are just the best, because the orcs are like, no matter what, we will always be there to fight you at your level, because we genetically auto-scale to fights, which is just the funniest fucking thing in the world. If you made a game that was like Borderlands for fucking Warhammer 40k, and the one, and like all of the other enemies you can like out level and shit, but then just standard orcs were always like level capping with you because that's just a genetic trait that they have. That's fucking awesome. That's hilarious because it changes up the mix of everything. Everything else is just boring after a fact. Like, if you didn't have all of those things, who would even give a fuck about Warhammer 40k? Like, there's nothing that makes it stand out. It's just the most generic, like, min-maxing bullshit. Like, it's super fucking standard. It's bog standard stuff with, like, 40, 60 years, whatever the fuck, of people making shit up on top of it. But those few things give it so much character. Like, I will talk about and listen to people talk about just the warp for fucking ever, and warp ships, and sacrificing 40,000 people in fucking coffins and shit just to go 5 feet through this thing, before I ever give a fuck about, like, the loyalty of the Custodes and, like, oh, these dipshits did a fucking heresy. I don't give a fuck. Oh, some dipshit human being tried to save the world by becoming Metal Jesus and then got stuck in a permanent sarcophagus with only like 6 people who don't even like him to like hear his whispers and then just misinterpret them for all of eternity. Like, that's fucking hilarious. That's what you get for being a dummy. I don't give a shit about your 20, actually 19, actually 6, actually nameless, countless, whoever the fuck knows how many kids. All that shit is like little kid, I'm a 14-year-old, very edgy, very cool storytelling stuff, which is just unimpressive to me, and it's not that much fun. But all of these other things that just, literally their existence shucks the rules and like throws things in every fucking direction. It's just so much fucking fun to even think about that it makes me want to like make stuff in that world. It's very attractive. Whereas opposed to just like everything else just feels bog standard as fuck. Like, you know what would be way worse, in a thing that actually everybody would just be saying, like, no, orcs can't fucking wish thing. Orcs just can't believe shit into existence anymore. It would be a much more damaging, like, lore thing than any of this. It's just so dumb. Tyler, please, I can only take her smolder for so long. Okay, we'll get off of this. I don't know. Well, let me listen to a little bit more.
Gaslight their own audience with this utterly, hilariously nonsensical statement. Why go so far as to have the fan wiki changed to continue their erasure of lore history? It is because Games Workshop...
It's like an update, right? Who changed it? It's a fan wiki. Like, if it's official to the Games Workshop canon, shouldn't it be updated with like a little trivia section in the bottom?
Have gone woke. And I mean now the company specifically, and the people inside of it, the community team, and the writing staff in particular.
Funny.
And by woke, I mean the ideology of progressivism and intersectionality. Again, I won't go too deep into these for now, other than to explain why they make it possible for a company to straight up lie to its own consumers in such a blatant way. Why, in fact, this was the only option that they had. Beginning with the most obvious, the absolute unflinching moral necessity for Games Workshop to do so. GW, and by extension, their most popular setting, Warhammer 40,000, has over the course of the last 10 years become increasingly...
I know, it's just so hard. I don't know if is this like a trick? I can't listen to any more fucking Arch. If Arch or Arch's fans, if you have a part where he's written it down, I will read it myself off stream or something, but I cannot listen to Arch Warhammer talk. It is like a repugnancy, unironically. I just ignored him. I was looking at my rabbit.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like